Oh, so. Let's try and predict the starting 11 for tonight. It's a bit weird, isn't it? With, again, where we have this situation where we're playing a game in the midst of the January transfer window. Obviously, we still are none the wiser in terms of what's happening. I don't think we probably will be until any announcements are made in terms of outs and any potential ins. Maybe, who knows? At the time of recording, we still have a full complement of left-sided players, but I'm sure that will change by the pardon me, Windy Pops, by the time this has gone out. But regardless of that, we still have a game to play, and we have Bournemouth. And I think it's a really critical game for us, particularly with playing obviously United and Arsenal next two games, particularly United next on Sunday away from home. There's a bit of a gap between fifth and us, and then a little bit of a gap between us and sort of 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th. So actually, a win today would definitely put us in the middle, really, and would be like, I think we're almost like 6 points clear of the 7th, and we're sort of drifting in that sixth spot, but like neither can up or down. So it's really critical. I think we get 3 points tonight. And obviously we haven't played for a while as well. So we've got the players arrested. We've got some players back from injury, got some players back from AFCONs, hopefully, as well. And some players to come back as well, both from the AFCONs and also to come back with from injury. And also maybe even a new signing playing today as well. Let's go and predict the 11. I think it's gonna be quite a tricky one. Because there's one position particularly which I think I'm slightly I think we might have to move the pack around a little bit for one position. I was listening to Jamie's show yesterday, the wrap up. Check it out. It was a fantastic show, really. And they were talking about the starting lineups and stuff. And I disagreed with some of them, actually. So this is going to be my the starting 11 of the players we know who are available. And as I said, sort of as a caveat, I'm not going to put anyone in who's linked with a move away. So in terms of the Cornets, Ben Rama and Fornals. So that might come to bite us in the bum. Maybe Cornet doesn't go and he starts tonight, but I just don't see, with so much intrigue around him, that around those three, that we're going to they're surely going to be in the right headspace to play. If they're almost, checked out and almost ready to leave, and they go, no, actually, we need to play tonight. So, although they were training, I think Moyes very much is not going to play any of them. I'll be honest. We also know that obviously Ben Rama is suspended anyway, so he can't play. So that's one person I definitely can't get on the team. And also Soufal. Obviously, he picks up a red card the other day, so he will second yellow, so he won't be available for today. So I think that's one of the reasons why Ben Johnson isn't going anywhere. So let's start. Areola back in goal. We haven't heard anything. Someone mentioned there was a rumor that he picked up a knock, but I haven't heard anything about that. We haven't seen any chatter about it. So that, to me, he goes in. Emerson, left back. And then it's in regardless of what way they play, but you'll have Zuma going in. You'll have Mavropanos going in. Now, what's going to be interesting, actually, obviously, with Morocco being knocked out a little bit earlier than I thought we were going to. Morocco were a favourite, so we're going to get a Gerd back, hopefully, in the next few days. Now, we get a situation with someone like Zuma. Zuma can't play a 2-game week, particularly a Thursday, Sunday, which is what we've got. And we've got Man United. So there could be a suggestion that maybe Zuma doesn't play tonight, and instead we bring in Ogbonna and play Zuma on Sunday. Or we know Aged's back. We know Aged's been playing. He's obviously played every 90-minute game for Morocco in the AFCONs. So maybe Aged could be back in time for Sunday, and he plays alongside Mavropanos against Man United, because it always worries me when Zuma has to play 2 games. So I think there'll be definitely a change in that centre-half positions on by the time we get to play Man United. Where's me Ben Johnson? There he is. Benny boy keeps his spot in the team, so to speak. And there's a real opportunity here for him. Obviously, at the moment, we're in the midst of contract negotiations with him. Again, another good showing today might loosen the purse strings in terms of Benny's contract potentially. So, yeah, interesting one that one is. For me, he's obviously playing. He's been playing really well in the last few games, exceptionally well, I would suggest, and fully deserves a new contract. I'd say. Particularly, if it's reported £60,000, I don't think that's beyond the possibility, but maybe 50. I don't know. I don't know. It's just penny. It's just numbers, isn't it? Really. Now, in terms of the midfield, now obviously we know from Moyes he sort of was a bit cagey about Phillips. I think Phillips goes straight in. I think the fact is we're paying a hell of a lot of money for him. If he's fit, he plays. That's the way I think happens. Because yeah, and I'd rather him get minutes, his first minutes for West Ham in this game, although Bournemouth are a very, very strong side, and they could easily turn us over, rather than get his first minutes away at Old Trafford, having played for Leeds, having played for Man City. All he has to do is play for Liverpool. He's played for the three most hated clubs for Man United fans, so very hostile. But I want him to be in and around the team and knowing how it all functions in sort of a match day situation in terms of the starting 11 before we get to that Man United game. That to me is a massive game for us. Bournemouth's massive in terms of putting our foot and extending our lead into that 6 spots lead. But that Man United game, if we can do something against Man United at Old Trafford, that's massive in terms of this European campaign for us in the league this year. So let's now, by all accounts, we've been led to believe that Alvarez is fit. I think for me, it's a double pivot. I think actually they're a bit close together. Let's put them there. I think this is arguably one of the strongest 2 midfielders you could have in the Premier League if they're both fit. As a setup, outside of say top 4, the greedy 4th, greedy 5, or greedy 6, I think that is a incredibly strong, and just adds that extra solidity to the back line which we need, because we're always good for a goal. We are always good for a goal, but for me, it's always susceptible at the back. And when Alvarez doesn't play, we look even more susceptible at the back. But obviously, Alvarez plus a Phillips. Whew, whew. Now, I think actually, people say, "Oh, he's not going to drop Souček." I think he can drop Souček, and he has dropped Souček before. In terms of, well, he alluded to dropping Souček as well, particularly when he was first linked with Calvin Phillips. He wanted Phillips and Deck to be the 2 for West Ham. So if that's the count, there's no spot for Souček then, and that was 18 months ago. He has, unless Alvarez gets a booking, Souček tends to be the first midfielder subbed off. The JWP tends to stay on all the time. It's only Alvarez will get taken off if he's got a booking. That's the only time he's taken a knock. But I think that's what will happen. Then for me, actually, we'll put it as a 3. It's easier. So we've got 1, 2, 3. JWP in the middle, pulling the strings. I think for me, he's twice the player when he's given that job. He doesn't have to, I mean, eventually, I would love to see a situation where that role is Paqueta's role, and he's in the middle of the park. But I don't see it happening at the time being, particularly as of the time recording, we haven't signed any bugger in that left-sided position. Not saying we won't do, but we probably won't do. By the sounds of it. So for me, that makes perfect sense, and I think that's a really good, nice midfield 3. That's a fantastic midfield 3, I think. So I'm trying not to. Why has he gone like that? That's better. But then that's. Oh, my OCD is kicking in. Anyway, sorry. So that's the 3. And then I think we have to adapt a little bit tonight. Usually it'll be, for me, it's Bowen up top, and then it's Mohamed Kudus on the right-hand side. I think for today, possibly for the Man United game, I think the wings will be interchangeable in terms of, I think we'll have Kudus on one wing. Let's just whack him there. I think we'll have Bowen on the other wing. And I think it'll be, where is he? Danny up top against his former club, and actually you can't see Bowen, so I'm moving him in there a little bit. That's what I think. Actually, let's fuck it, make it a 4-4-3. Yeah, that's it. So that to me, and actually, I think actually for sometimes it may even be a little bit like this. Not Kudus off the pitch, but almost like this, and then Danny dropping into a 10 role, which Moyes has said he quite likes him playing in that position. So, but that's going to be interchangeable. That's going to be interchangeable in terms of the positions that Kudus and Bowen plays. With Paqueta back in, it goes back to normal. But obviously, the likelihood is I think Paqueta will be back for the Arsenal game, not the Man United game. So this could be similar to the side that we play against Man United. Maybe when maybe he might decide against Man United to maybe bring Souček in and really pad up that midfield and make it just, almost playing Souček as a 10 for that game. I could see that happening. Could even happen today, really. But that's what I think might go with. Yeah. I mean, the fact is he did big up Danny Ings in his press conference yesterday. So for me, it does suggest. But the thing is, what's great at the moment in a weird way, is we don't know what he's going to do. So if we don't know what he's going to do, Irano is not going to know what he's going to do. So the setup for that will be very different in terms of defensively if you take one player out and put him in. If you take Danny Ings and put Thomas Souček in, that changes that whole attacking. There's going to be more knockdowns. There's going to be more longer balls. Knock-ons for Souček into Bowen, into Kudus. So we don't. So that it's a different game plan. It's a different game plan. And as I said, there's a great opportunity today for Ben Johnson later on tonight to potentially cement that pit position, that right back position. We'll definitely get to a situation where he's almost seen as indispensable for the squad. And obviously we've got options there. I don't expect Mbama to play. I don't expect him to be in the squad. See, that's what's going to be interesting, actually, because you look to the Premier League. So the boys played yesterday, the PL2 International Cup, beat Dinamo Zagreb to qualify to the knockout stages quite comprehensively. And the side was full of people like, it was full of the likes of, Mbama played. They had, I think, Urfi played. Obviously, Callum's gone. I think Ollie Scars played as well. But that's not saying they can't be on the bench tonight, because they could be. So it does slightly worry me about our bench, in all honesty. We haven't got any options today, I'd suggest. Although I think whoever we don't sell is on the bench tonight. So Ben Rama, Fornals, Cornet, they'll be on the bench if they aren't sold, basically. Or maybe they bugger off at half time because Crystal Palace just put bid in for them. It's going to be a bit weird, that bench. Similar situation to we played Luton Town. I remember that. Like whoever was on the bench, we were thinking, okay, well maybe they're not going to be sold. But then because it's a 7:30 kickoff, we still got in essence 2 hours after kickoff, after the final whistle, in terms of when these players could go. Also, for example, in France, that's the 10 o'clock kickoff. In terms of they close at 10 p.m. UK time in terms of their transfer window. So it's now before ours. Fascinating, isn't it? I think it's going to be fascinating. I think to me that side's more whether it's Souček or Ings. I think for either side. I mean, as I said, the other option, say nothing's going to happen with Cornet, could be, Cornet comes in. By the sound of it, Ben Rama and Fornals are the most likely. And again, if that happens, that's again a totally different setup, because there's no real height. It's all very much to balls over the top for the likes of Cornet. I mean, that is an incredibly fast front three, which would very much scare any defence in the Premier League. There's no doubt about that. And then we got the likes of, Emerson pushing forward. You got the likes of JWP pulling the strings, maybe into more of a quarterback role. The solidity of Phillips and Alvarez together. I tell you what, that ain't a bad fucking side. I tell you, that ain't a bad side. That is a side which should be 6th or 7th in the Premier League, in my opinion. Obviously, the likes of Aguirre coming back in strengthens up our defensive options. I'm happy with Ben Johnson playing there. I think he offers maybe a bit more than maybe a Soufal does at the moment. And with the likes of Souček on the bench, got Paqueta to come back as well, Antonio to come back. That's another thing. We don't know. We haven't had a timescale for Antonio. Premier League injuries said yesterday, when I checked, that it looked like that he was due to come back. They had a date of, was it a date of today? Let me just have a quick look. I thought I had it up. Let's have a look. Premier League injuries. When it wants to work, of course. Should have probably done this beforehand, but hey, fuck it. Antonio, no, potentially that's changed to that's changed to mid-February now. So anyway, but the likes of, we fully expect to see, I think, again back for maybe the game against Man United. I'd suggest, obviously, Soufal returns, and Paqueta's back training, so maybe the Arsenal game, and that could be similar for maybe Antonio potentially as well. But also, by the time I play Arsenal, if Ben Rama hasn't left, he can play as well again. So, yeah. Anyway, let me know in the comments what you think. If you like what we do, don't forget to comment, like, share, give it a cheeky like, give it a cheeky subscribe. We've had a lot more subscribers recently, so thank you for joining the West Ham Network. Also, we'll be doing our draw for our members. That'll be tomorrow lunchtime. Might have a little special guest as well coming on, having a chat about the hopefully the victory against Bournemouth, and then looking forward to the Man United game on Sunday. But yeah, until then, take care, stay safe, stay warm, stay humble. If you want to get entered into the draw, this is a great draw today. This is going to be a great members draw. We've got a signed current season's shirt signed by lots of the current squad, the likes of JWP, Caduce, all that are on there as well as a signed football as per usual. So yeah, a good one to get involved in. Anyone who's a channel member will be entered automatically into that. So check the join button down there. Until next time, take care, stay safe, stay warm, stay humble, keep the faith, my friends, and come on, you bloody Irons. Oh.